Hello YouTube, this is Gizmo88, and this is my Super Nintendo game collection. This is one of my Super Nintendo games, Super Mario World. As you can see, it's kind of a little bit rough up here and around the edges, but overall not bad. Definitely plays well. These down here, these are like a cover basically to cover the game, so you can see you just take it out, it just folds right in, no big deal. That's Super Mario World. Anyway, it's these big honking cartridges. I don't know why Nintendo couldn't go with something a little bit smaller, but hey, that's alright. Another one I have, Tiny Toons Tiny Toons Adventures Buster Bust Loose. That's a pretty fun game. It's an adventure game. And this is one of them too that's got one of them slider things on it that I only have a few of them, so. But anyway, it's made by Konami, and it's not a bad game, but it's all right. I mean, it's something that you'll go back and play, but it's not something you're gonna play. That's pretty much it for that game. Super OffRoad the Baja. Overall, excellent game. It's really good. I mean, they kind of gave it more of a 3D look by the way it goes, because I don't know, it's really strange design, but it is a racing game. You can customize your trucks and stuff like that. The thing I don't like about it, though, is the fact that the trucks in it and stuff are not there's only basically one truck. You couldn't go like with a Doom buggy or with a car, or even with just a different vehicle. There's only one vehicle, and really there's not enough tracks in it. But other than that, it's a great game. Star Wars Return of the Jedi. Awesome game. I mean, really shows the potential of the Super Nintendo. It's an awesome 3D adventure, even utilizes great speed in there, and there's you can drive, you can control vehicles. It's like a 2D, 3D basically game. It's an adventure game, but it's definitely one for the collectors. It was the last Star Wars game to come out on the Super, but it's an excellent game. And you can see this one don't have the slider on it. Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back. That's also Super Nintendo. All these are. This one you really don't have a lot of vehicles to control. You don't have as many, but it does have some. Not quite as graphical as Return of the Jedi, but still a really good game. Overall, both good graphics. In this one, you're still play your role as Luke, and you can play with different weapons, which is kind of interesting. Rather than instead of giving you multiple guys to choose from, they give you one guy and give you different weapons in this one, versus where you change weapons, you can change pretty much everything in Return of the Jedi. This is Super Star Wars, and this is the first Star Wars game for Super Nintendo. As you can see, this one's in really good shape. I bought this one here recently. It practically looks like it's brand new. This is actually a player choice game, which is it's kind of rarely seen on the Super Nintendo, but it's there, and you see on the front. But in this game, basically, basically you're Luke and you have a gun. So really, there's no lightsabers in this one for the most part, as for you to be able to control them. But that's pretty much it for Star Wars games. Pitfall: The Main Adventure. Pretty good game overall. I actually have the Genesis version as well as the Super Nintendo version, so like I said, I really have a comparison there. It looks great, but it's definitely not the best game in the world. I mean, it is an adventure game. I don't know, like your life gauge is I'd say can somewhat be confusing. So that's pretty much it for that game. Porky Pig's Haunted Holidays, or Haunted Holiday, I should say. Well, basically, it's an adventure game. As you can see, I got a taste for adventure games. Bleh, can't speak, talk swallowed. Basically, yeah, you start off, he goes to bed. I don't know, it's kind of wacky, kind of strange. A lot of this was more from my childhood, though, so. But yeah, it's still fun to play. I mean, it's not one you're going to go back and play all the time, but, you know, it's one for the books. Animaniacs. I guess we all know that game for the most part. It's made by Konami. At least I believe it's pronounced Konami. Something like that. Konami. Something like that. Basically, an adventure game. This one kind of takes strategy, though. It's kind of a, it's a 2D game, obviously, but it's a pretty fun game. Get back there. Just 1 second. Overall, I got a lot of Super Nintendo games. A lot of fun ones. This one, I don't know if you can see. I'm not going to pull the cartridge out or nothing, but these are actually plastic cases I got. But this Super Mario RPG, Legend of the Seven Stars. Overall, it's an adventure game, but it's also an RPG. So it's more than just an adventure. But this is an awesome game. Out of any Super Nintendo game I can think of, I mean, there is like few particular games I don't have. But this is probably my best game right here. And this is probably the one game that I can play over and over and over. I can always go back to. I can always turn the Super on with that game in it and just go right to it. I even have it on Virtual Console on the Wii. It's a really good game, and it really this took the Super to its max. Matter of fact, it was even questioned if the Super was 32-bit over this particular game. So this is an awesome game. But in this game, you basically where it's the usual battle against Bowser, but then something changes, and then or what you think is the Battle of Bowser, actually, when you start the game, you're actually going against Bowser, and then you get like escorted off or get basically launched out of Bowser's castle. And then they're kind of wondering what's going on. But anyway, and then you kind of go through the game like that, and you kind of find out. But anyway, it's an excellent game. Megaman X. It's an awesome game. Obviously an adventure, but also it's got a lot of action. One thing about this game is you never lose the action. The action never ends. And the further you get in the game, the more weapons you get. I mean, you start off with pretty much just the one standard weapon. Not really very powerful. Your life gauge is very small. And as you go through the game, you can increase your life gauge, and you get stuff like the speed boots, these shiny armor and stuff like that. So, pretty awesome game though. I don't know. Can be kind of a harder game though. One thing about it is it's kind of hard. Donkey Kong Country, a really cool game. It's an adventure game, but it's really cool. I mean, I'm actually going to get the second and third ones. I don't have them yet, and also for Mega Man, I'm also going to get Mega Man 2 and 3. Just got to find them. But this is really showed the 2D power of the Super Nintendo. Each stage was different. There was a lot of action. Really takes the background and the stages themselves and really just puts it together to make a 2D 3D mix. So it's a really cool game. You got lots of characters. Obviously Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong are the two main characters, but then you got like Rambi, you got Espresso, you know, and then you got fish in-gate or something like that. So there's, you know, a lot of characters in this game. But yeah, that's pretty much it for that game. Obviously the battle is also against King K. Rool. Here's an interesting game, Terminator 2. My bad. I don't know. This game is strange. You know, it's a 2D game, and it goes side to side. But then, you know, when you're trying to shoot, it can actually be kind of difficult to play, and it really takes a lot of strategy. You really got to have a lot of patience to play this game. It's not really much of an adventure. It's more of like an action game. So like a first-person shooter too. I mean, overall it ain't bad, but it gets dull pretty quick. So it's definitely not one you're gonna play all the time. But it's one for the collection. That's pretty much it for my Super collection. Oh, I do have a couple more games. Apologize. My last 3 games, Star Fox. Pretty good game. It's an action game. Graphically designed, I mean, it really shows potential in the Super, and it uses an actual expansion chip inside the game cartridge here. This one is unplayable right now, though. As you see, the screws are actually missing. I actually work on these games and clean them all. That's why they work so good. But this one, the case is actually broken inside, and the board likes to shove up on one side. It'll play, but it's just getting it in the right spot. Anyway, yeah, this game is like I said, it's not really an adventure. It's an action game. A little bit of strategy. It can be kind of difficult, though. Compared to Star Fox 64, this game is actually kind of hard. I was kind of surprised in that. That's pretty much it for that one. Redick Boxing. I don't know, never could really get into this game. It's obviously a sport title. It's my only sport title game for Super. I do have NCAA basketball coming, so that one will be added to the collection. That's just, a basketball game, nothing big. Just college basketball. Anyway, yeah, this game, it's alright. It's graphically wise, it ain't bad, but it can be kind of difficult. So, and it takes time to play too. It's one you really got to sit down with. But it's an alright game. My last game is Battleship. Pretty cool game. It's can be kind of a slow game, really strategy game. It's the only strategy game I really have for the most part. But overall, it's a pretty cool game. I know I keep saying that. But it's one for the books. It plays. Well, that concludes my Super Nintendo collection. Thank you.